Have you ever found yourself confused about the differences between methods and computed properties in Vue.js? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into this topic to clarify everything for you. I totally get it. Many developers, especially those new to Vue, often wonder why there are two seemingly similar options. It can be frustrating when they appear interchangeable, but trust me, there are key differences that can impact your application. Let's look at the specific question that sparked this discussion. One user asked, what is the main difference between a method and a computed value in Vue.js? They feel like these two features are the same. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what exactly is the difference? Methods are functions that you can call whenever you need them, while computed properties are reactive and automatically update when their dependencies change. This distinction is crucial for optimizing your Vue applications. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a practical example that will help you decide when to use each one effectively. To understand the difference between methods and computed properties in Vue.js, let's start with methods. Methods are functions that are called when you need to perform an action. They are executed every time they are called. On the other hand, computed properties are used for values that depend on other data. They are cached based on their dependencies, meaning they only reevaluate when their dependencies change. Now let's look at an example. If the user has a data property called number and wants to double it, they can use a method or a computed property. With a method, the user would call the function each time they need the value. In contrast, if the user uses a computed property for the same purpose, it will automatically update when number changes without needing to call it explicitly. In summary, methods are great for actions, while computed properties are ideal for derived state. The user should choose based on whether they need a function to execute or a value that updates automatically. Fun fact, did you know that Vue.js was created by a former Google engineer? It's designed to be approachable and flexible, making it a favorite among developers. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user clarifies the difference between methods and computed properties in Vue.js. They explain that when a method is called with the VON directive, Vue knows exactly when to call it, like on a button click. However, if a method is called without VON, it runs every time an event triggers a DOM update, even if unrelated. In contrast, a computed property only runs when its reference data changes. The takeaway is to use computed properties when a method isn't called with VON for better performance. Now, let's shift our focus to a different response. This user clarifies the difference between methods and computed properties in Vue. They explain that methods are used to change data, while computed properties are for transforming the presentation of existing data. It's important to remember that computed properties must always return a value and should not alter the original data. In their example, they illustrate a simple financial system with cash, bank account, and debt. The computed properties recalculate values based on changes, while methods execute every time they are called, regardless of the result. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. According to another user, the main difference between methods and computed properties in Vue.js is how they handle reactivity. Methods will execute every time a re-render occurs, while computed properties only reevaluate when their reactive dependencies change. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. In Vue 3's composition API, methods and computed properties have distinct roles. Computed properties are functions that return an immutable reference based on other properties, like refs or reactive states. For example, you can create a double count computed property that doubles a count value. On the other hand, methods are plain JavaScript functions used as event handlers and should not be called directly in templates to avoid rendering issues. The key differences are that computed properties observe changes and cannot take parameters, while methods are used for refactoring code and handling events. Remember, computed properties can be watched, but methods should not be used for rendering. Now, let's see a response from a different user. According to another user, the main difference between methods and computed properties in Vue.js lies in caching. Computed properties are cached based on their reactive dependencies, meaning they only reevaluate when those dependencies change. In contrast, methods will run every time a re-render occurs, regardless of whether the underlying data has changed. Here's a quick tip. Use methods for actions that require user interaction, like button clicks, and computed properties for values that depend on other data. This will help keep your code clean and efficient. And there you have it. Understanding the difference between methods and computed properties can greatly enhance your Vue.js skills. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips, and don't forget to check out our next video for more Vue.js insights.